All right. Happy Tuesday. Boy, we've got a full 15 game slate to talk about. But first, let's talk about the recap from yesterday. The Brewers sold us. Oh, the Brewers. Could have been a wonderful day. That said, still a great day. Up about 10 units personally. On the picks we gave out, up 1.45. The Brewers, man, just the extra innings. I cannot believe they had second and third, one out, and did not score. Crazy. Yelich tried to score on a Hoskins ground ball to third, which is still kind of blowing my mind why you would try that, but it is what it is. So we move on. Brewers gave up some silly runs, but that is Coors Field. Let's do our recap here on our straight bets. The Brewers Rockies game easily covered that over 11. Actually, by the time I had bet it, it was already at 11 and a half. Still bet it, cashed with ease. Houston -1. That got a little sweaty. That got really sweaty, but we ended up getting the job done. Very boring game for the most part up until the end. Mets and Nats Nerfy. That was pretty I won't say pretty sweat free, but decent. So we hit that with ease. The only parlay we hit was Mets team total over 3.5, and again that got dicey, and extra innings helped, but they easily got over that. And then we had to sweat the Nationals coming back. I did not think we would have to sweat a 6-run lead, but we did. And then Houston -1. We had that big 3-run homer, helped us out there. And then the Brewers sold us pretty hard. On the props, so Hunter Brown sweat free. Well, I wouldn't say sweat free. He was sitting at like 3. Then he struck out 2 in the last, but so he ended up at 5. Hits was very sweat free. He only gave up 2 hits. Gore had himself an absolute day. I believe he had 8 Ks. Bryce Wilson did pitch, but he didn't start, so this one was voided. Thank God, because he gave up 7 hits. Terang, really big letdown spot. Had 5 at bats and just couldn't get anything done. And then Lindor did get a hit and scored a run, so cash that for us. 3 and 2 on the props. 2 and 1 on our picks. Thank you, the Brewers. But let's get into the slate. Big slate, lots to talk about here. We're going to move quick. Couple games I really don't love, so we'll just kind of move quickly. I do like this one. Guardians going up against the White Sox. So we've got Carlos Carrasco, a little scary. He's got a 4.56 home ERA, which is better than his away, going up against Chris Flexen, who is rocking a similar ERA. The White Sox versus Carrasco, historically pretty good. They're hitting 309 off of him. Little scary. However, if we look at Cleveland after one day's rest, they are 9-3 on the season. The White Sox are an abysmal 1-10. And if we look at Cleveland's home record, 26-9, man. Can't fade Cleveland at home, even if Carlos Carrasco is on the mound. We've got the wind blowing out, so a little fear of the home run ball. But if we look at Flexen, 65% of his outs come on fly balls. Carrasco, fairly evenly split. So a lot of advantages here to Cleveland. Would like to see the hitting turn around, right? We're not seeing the hitting, but this is a wonderful get-right spot. Home game, day off, wind blowing out. I just love anything Cleveland here. Now, for the White Sox, the one angle I do love is first 5 team total over 1.5 against Carrasco. With them hitting 309 off of him, I like that line. So that'll be on one of our straight bets. But really, I don't think you can go wrong with the Guardians here. Run line first 5. I even think this over 9.5 is definitely in play, just in case Carrasco has a bad day, which is very possible. But if we look at Flexen, he's been pitching pretty well to right-handed hitters, 192, but he's really been struggling against lefties at 333. So, you've got Naylor, you've got Ramirez, a lot of power bats are going to be hitting lefty. So I really like Guardians in this spot. Next game, I'm not touching this game. The Marlins are my Achilles heel, and they're at home, first game of a series. They just sometimes come out strong. Cutter Crawford on the hill. He's been pretty good. There's just so many variables here. I don't know which Red Sox offense we're going to get. The Marlins are an enigma. So to me, this is just a fade. I feel like the Red Sox will win, but I'm not paying that price for an unknown variable. All right, Cardinals Pirates. I like the under 8.5 here. The wind is blowing in. We've got Mitch Keller on the hill. He's been extremely solid at home, going up against Kyle Gibson. And Pittsburgh has not hit Kyle Gibson well, just hitting 206 against Gibson. That said, I like the Pirates in this spot. I've just got to back Mitch Keller. Really love the Nerfy at minus 135. I think that's a nice price against two teams that offensively just haven't been good. So, first lean would be towards the under, and then the Nerfy, and then Pirates money line. All right, Mets Nats, crazy game yesterday. I like the under today. I mean, the under really should have hit yesterday. Was only 3-3 going into the 10th inning. I like the Nerfy here. I really like the Nerfy. I feel like the price is wonderful at minus 115. Two lefties going up against each other. Sean Manaea, who has been pitching quite well lately. He was an early fade for me this season. Pitch against DJ Herz. Average. These lines are a little skewed because he did pitch in Colorado and got roughed up a little bit, but he has pitched quite well at home. So I like the Mets again. I don't think we can fade the Mets. We didn't see the sticks come out yesterday till a little late. Brandon Nimmo cut his hand or something, didn't play yesterday, so offensively that was a huge hit. Hopefully he's in the lineup today. Would like to see a little more production out of Pete Alonso. He had a really big letdown game yesterday. Had some clutch spots. He did not come through. Thank God Martinez hit that 3-run home run. Or 2-run home run, whatever it was. I think it was a 3-run home run in the 10th or 11th, whatever it was. Anyway, came up clutch for us. Can't fade the Mets right now. Got to go with them. Manaea has a pretty good pitching matchup. Herz, not necessarily a good matchup. So I like the Mets to get the job done today. All right, Yankees Reds. I'm actually shocked this line's minus 205, if I'm being honest. Going up against Graham Ashcraft, who is horrible. Got pulled back up from the minors because Lodolo's on the IL. Just a wonderful, wonderful spot for the Yankees. I think this line's 205 because there may be some fear about Luis Gil. He has had back-to-back bad starts. That said, we're talking about the Reds, right? You guys know I have a very bad track record betting for the Reds, against the Reds. They just do the opposite of what I want. But, man, how can you not look Yankees run line in this spot? Yankees first 5 minus half a run. That's juiced to like minus 140 something. Don't care. I'll take it. Yankees team total over 4.5 against Graham Ash. They might get that in the first inning. So I love Yankees Day. I love Gil. To get right today, I like his over in pitching outs, which I believe is 16.5. So we'll have a lot of bets on the Yankees today. All right, Blue Jays Astros. Houston pulled it out yesterday. I like a yo-yo effect today. Spencer Arrighetti going up against Jose Barrios. Don't trust Arrighetti. He is a really bad pitcher, so I like the Blue Jays to bounce back today. I think Barrios has a decent little day. I don't think he completely contains the Astros, but I would assume Toronto gets to Arrighetti. Houston got a little lucky yesterday. A lot of bats out of the Blue Jays lineup. I believe all of them will be back today. So I think this is a good bounce back day for the Blue Jays here. All right, next game, Braves Giants. This is a tough one. Minus 185 is a little steep for an offense that just simply hasn't been producing over the past 2 weeks. Especially after we saw the Giants just absolutely stomp James Paxton in their last game. But got to lean Braves here. Lopez on the hill. Last 9 starts, he's only given up 2 earned runs or less. So hard to fade. Lopez going up against Hayden Birdsong, just not enough here to go off of. He's got a pretty high opponent batting average of 316. It's really hard to not back the Braves in this situation. I would maybe look at the under 8.5 with the wind blowing in. I like the Nerfy here. Minus 110. I have no concerns about Lopez getting the job done. Birdsong's a little bit of a wild card, but that would be where we're kind of fading the Braves offense. So good value at minus 110 there if you're interested. Tigers Twins, really tough game to handicap. Really tough game. You've got the Twins, who have been hot with the sticks, didn't score a ton of runs in Seattle, but that's just a tough ballpark to score in. So I thought they did quite well for the ballpark. Simeon, Woods, Richardson going up against Tariq Skubal. A massive pitching advantage towards Detroit. I just don't trust Detroit sticks. If we look at the last 7 days, they're not hitting well. 143, managed to squeak out a one win against the Angels. Casey Mize threw a great game, and they ended up getting a 6-5 win. This is one where I kind of go both ways, right? This is an absolute coin toss to me. I don't necessarily trust Simeon, Woods, Richardson. I also don't trust Detroit's offense. So I would lean Detroit first 5, backing Skubal, but ultimately I do like the Twins to win the game. If Skubal was on any other team, I'm taking that team he's on. But just don't trust Simeon, Woods, Richardson. Nerfy's really juiced at -150. I don't love it. I feel like this is way too high. I think it's accurate for Skubal, not Simeon, Woods, Richardson. Maybe I'm just flashing back to that first inning, walked the first 3 hitters and gave up a grand slam to the Athletics, but a little too juiced for me to trust Woods, Richardson in this spot. All right, next game, another really good pitching matchup. We got Dylan Cease going up against Nathan Eovaldi. Cease looked amazing in his last outing. Prior to that, he had 3 pretty bad outings. So still not at the point where I completely trust Dylan Cease in terms of what are we going to get out of him. Eovaldi has looked terrible on the road. He has just been a horrendous road pitcher, almost a 6 ERA on the road. That said, he's been pretty good at home. But very minimal starts, and it hasn't really faced extremely tough competition either. So that said, I'm just leaning towards the Padres. I know the Rangers stomped the Orioles like 11-2 in their last game. That's just not enough for me to put a lot of faith in their bats going up against Dylan Cease. A completely different pitching matchup. We knew Cole Irvin was probably going to get rocked. That was the game we said Rangers were probably going to win. I got to go Padres here. I just don't trust the Rangers offense. Padres team total is only 3.5 at -125. Now, we had that bet last time. I told you I was going to take it the next game, and I think this is a good spot. Banking on them to get 4 here. I just like that spot. I like Padres to get it done. Hopefully Cease doesn't completely crap the bed. This is a shit show of a game. Phillies and Cubs. 2 really bad pitchers on paper anyway. Mercado's expected ERA is 5.74. Wesneski's expected ERA is 4.81. Both players have an extremely high hard hit percentage, like 40+% hard hit. So this game could just turn into a slugfest or not. I don't trust the Cubs bats. So lean would be to the under, but not one I'm going to touch. With the wind blowing out at Wrigley, that could be a wild game, especially at 10. My lean here is the Phillies, actually, at plus money. I'm just trusting their bats. If we look, they've been getting hits. It's not a matter of hits. It's a matter of timely hits with runners in scoring position. So I got to lean Phillies. If we just look after a day's rest, they are leading major leagues in their record. So really good there. Away record still 22-15. I just don't trust the Cubs at the end of the day. 2 pretty bad pitchers going up against each other. You give me a slugfest game, I'll take the Phillies even without Harper and Schwarber. All right, Rays, Royals. This slide feels ridiculously off. I love the value here. We're getting -125 on the Royals, plus 160 run line. Crazy. I love the Royals here. If we look at the Rays versus Singer, they're only hitting 137 off of him. And the Rays offense is not exactly wooing me. They had a couple of decent games against the Nationals. A lot of teams have had a couple good games against the Nationals. Royals started to hit. The bats came out in that Guardian series. They've been home this whole time, well rested. I love them to just come out firing here. So I like Royals first 5. I like the run line, money line. I love Tampa Bay team total under 4.5. I think they're expecting this to be a high-scoring game with the winds blowing out. Right? We see the over at 9.5. I did read an interesting stat. When the over is 9.5 or more, it hits like 58% of the time. So something interesting there, but not touching it here. Love the Royals to get the job done today. All right, Brewers Rockies. Brewers, damn you Brewers. Dallas Keuchel going up against Ryan Feltner. This is probably the worst pitching matchup in the major leagues today. If we look at Feltner's last 4 home starts, he's given up 6, 4, 8, and 5 earned runs. 2 of those teams are the Reds and the Pirates. So I think the other 2 were the Orioles and, I can't think of the last team. But Cleveland. It was Cleveland. So 2 decent teams, 2 bad teams. Either way, a lot of earned runs. So I like the Brewers to bounce back, get the job done today, even though Keuchel's in the lineup. I would lean towards that over 11.5 if the wind weren't blowing in. That makes me a little nervous there. Works in Keuchel's favor is like 69% of his outs come via the fly ball. So I give the edge to the Brewers. The sticks are just too good, man. Too good. And I think Colorado got a little lucky last night. Had about 6 hits in a row they strung together last night. So Brewers today. All right, Orioles, Mariners. Grayson Rodriguez going up against George Kirby. Rodriguez did pitch against Seattle May 18th. He went 6 innings, 1 hit, 0 earned runs. He pitches extremely well against lefties. He has a 153 average against lefties. Seattle is projected to have 6 left-handed hitters in the lineup, and we already know the Mariners can't hit worth a shit, especially at home. They just really haven't been getting it done. So I like the Orioles to get the job done today. I mean, Rodriguez K-prop is 7.5, which is really, really high. So clearly they're expecting the Mariners to continue to strike out a bunch like they did against the Twins. That said, Grayson's road ERA is not the best at 5.35. Kirby is a beast at home. He's got a 2.27 or a 2.48 home ERA. So that's a little sketchy, right? Runs are always kind of at a premium at the Mariners ballpark, but I like them to get the job done. Baltimore 7-4 on one day's rest. Seattle's 5-3, so very similar records there. I think Seattle definitely has the pitching edge. It's not by a ton though, but ultimately the Orioles have a massive hitting advantage here. So I like them to get the job done today in Seattle. All right, next game. Angels Athletics, Jose Soriano, love this guy. This guy's triple-digit fastball, brings the heat. I love the Angels today. I am a little nervous because Soriano has not pitched since June 12th, so it makes me a little nervous. But Mitch Spence on the other side of the mound here did pitch against the Angels just like a week ago. 5.1 innings, 8 hits, 6 earned runs, and had 6 Ks. So I like the Angels in this spot. We've seen them hitting. They've had 5 or more runs in like the last 6, 7 games, maybe 5, somewhere in there, but they've been hitting. Team total's only at 3.5, minus 140, so it's really not juiced too bad. Love that spot there. I like Angels money line. I like them first 5. Like I said, we're just backing Soriano. This dude's got really good stuff. I don't love his average against righties, but playing the Athletics and their crappy offense, take my chances there. All right, last game. All right, we're floating through this. Diamondbacks, Dodgers. Ryan Nelson is an insta-fade for me going up against Bobby Miller. Miller's ERA is a little jacked up. Didn't have a great last start, so I think that's why we're seeing this this line where it's at right now. But Dodgers at home, 25-16. We look at Diamondbacks away, 19-22. Diamondbacks started to hit a little bit in that series against Oakland, but really couldn't muster up a ton of runs against Oakland. So I don't have a lot of confidence they get it done today against Bobby Miller. Last 3 games, Dodgers are averaging 7 runs a game. So I love everything Dodgers here. Team totals only at 4.5. I say only because Ryan Nelson is a dog shit pitcher. So 4.5 is a gift at minus 130. Love that line. I like the first 5, minus half a run line. Anything Dodgers, I'm in. I know they didn't look amazing in that last game against the Giants, but I feel like they knew they were about to have a break. They just kind of left Paxton out there to to suck up innings and give everybody a nice little break. And the Dodgers pulled most of their starters, so they should be well rested. They're at home. Absolutely love this spot. So best bets, I got a lot of them. I might have went a little nuts today, but I actually like this slate today for the most part. Yankees -1.5. So taking Yankees on the run line at plus money, going up against Graham Ashcraft. That's scary that it's plus 102 means the books are there is a heightened sense of fear that the Reds get to heal, but we're banking that they don't, so they probably score 9. Yankees first 5 -0.5 a run, juiced at -145. Not one I love to take as a straight bet, but seems like easy money to me. Chicago White Sox first 5 team total over 1.5 at -130. Royals run line plus 160. Yeah, we're sprinkling. We're definitely going to sprinkle that one. I love it. New York Yankees team total over 4.5 -125. We already talked about the Tampa team total under 4.5. Heel over 16.5 outs at -120. And then Kansas City first 5 at -120. All right, parlays. Everything's a half a unit except for this first one. And that's Yankees -1, Dodgers -1 at plus 200. We're going to do a full unit on that one. And then the rest are half units here. So we're going to do Pittsburgh Cards and the Mets and Nationals. We're going to run that Nerfy back. Combine them both, plus 219. Our player prop parlay is going to be Sean Manaea under 5.5 hits. Graham Ashcraft over 4.5 hits. That line does not make sense to me at all. And then Zach Littell over 2.5 earned runs. So those are going to be our 3 plays in our player prop parlay. Next parlay is going to be Kansas City first 5, Dodgers first 5 -0.5. So we're playing KC straight up. Dodgers have to be up by 1. That's plus 207. And then we have a Dodgers Yankees over 4.5 team total. So both teams need to score 5 runs, and that is going to be plus 218. And then down here, this is just a little fun parlay. It is not, I'm not tracking it necessarily, but I like this. Have a little fun with it. We're going Dodgers, Yankees, Royals, Guardians, all to win by more than 1, right? And if they win by 1, it's just a push, but combine those 4 together, plus 837. Really like that. And then potential upsets. I've only got a few upsets on the card here that I have them ranked out, as you can see. But the first one I can see is Giants and Braves, right? Lopez is technically due for some regression. Giants did hit against the Dodgers pretty much all series, so I could see them having a little day against Lopez. It could only take 3 runs. The Braves offense has just been anemic, so that scares me a little bit. Boston, Miami, I can always see Miami winning. Cutter Crawford, they could tag him up, and Miami could shut them down. We saw them take some games off of Philly. I think they split the series 2-2. So wouldn't shock me if they beat Boston today. Detroit, Minnesota, could definitely see Detroit winning. Like I said, Simeon, Woods, Richardson scares me a little bit, so I could definitely see that. Seattle, Baltimore, who knows? Seattle could just break out the sticks today against Rodriguez. If you score 5 runs, probably going to win. That's just kind of the way that ballpark works. Cincinnati, New York, just because Cincinnati loves to do the opposite of what I do. And the books, for some reason, aren't quite completely sold on the Yankees winning today. For some reason. I don't know why. Let's see. We already talked about, I got that on there twice. Detroit, Minnesota. We don't need to talk about that again. Houston, Toronto. Arrighetti could have a great day. And Houston's bats are just some that sometimes you can't fade them. So a little scary to fade Houston. So that's why I have that on there. And then the last one, St. Louis, Pittsburgh. St. Louis sometimes just pumps out a bunch of hits, and Keller can be, while I trust Keller, I do think at times he can be hittable. So makes me a little nervous, but there's a lot of cold bats in that St. Louis lineup. So like I said, that's probably where I would rank that least. In terms of highest probability here, I would say the Houston game is probably the one I would say has the biggest upset alert. Then second would probably be Detroit. And then from there, kind of a toss-up from there on. But All right, that is our slate today, and if you made it this far, I appreciate it. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up, and if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, comment down below. What do you think is going to be the biggest upset of the day, and what bets do you like today? Would love to hear kind of what you guys are running with today, and I will catch you guys in the next video.